Understanding how to work with text in Canva is going to make you a better designer. Indeed, almost all of your future designs will have text on them. So it's important you get familiar early on with the tools Canva gives you to work with text. This lecture will be your guide. If we come back to the object panel, we will observe there is a tab that says text. This tab is a great starting point and will allow you to work with text in different ways. For example, from here, you will be able to use the search box to search for font in the library, quickly create headings, subheadings, and body text based on preset formatting you might have set up via your brand kit, and use some pre-made font combinations. Let's start with the search box. If you don't know what to type in there because you don't know the name of any font, try using a descriptive keyword like bold or thin or handwritten. Canva will then show you a bunch of fonts that match that descriptive keyword. Here again, you'll notice some fonts have the little crown on them, and that means, let's say it all together, they are only available for pro users. That's right. If you see a font that you like, simply click on it to create a text box in your design. You now have that new element on your page that you can edit. So let's change the text first. To do that, double-click on the text box and start typing. When you do that, you will see some new buttons showing up near the top gradient menu. You should see a box with the name of the font that you use, the size of your font, a color button to change the color of your font, your bold, italic, underline, and other formatting buttons. There is a button to convert your text to all caps, another one to create lists and bullet points, a button that says spacing when you hover over it, which will allow you to add or reduce spacing between the letters or between the lines. There's also a button that says effects and another one that says animate. Let's spend a bit more time on each of these as they pack a lot of powerful features. So let's click on effects first. This will open a new panel with a bunch of text effects. And Canva will probably continue to add more text effects in the future, but for now, this is what we have. We have shadows, lift, hollow, splice, echo, glitch, neon, and background. These are grouped together as the style effect because they will change the style of your text. And then at the bottom, we have one shape effect, which is the curve text. Let's click on the first effect here that says shadow. You should now see a subtle shadow on your text. And once you're here, I encourage you to play around with the different sliders and buttons to modify the effect. Be aware that each effect will have its own set of settings, but here, for example, under shadow, we have offset, which changes the distance between the shadow and your text. We have direction, which influences the direction of the shadow. We have blur, which will make your shadow softer by blurring it. And we have transparency, which will add some transparency to your shadow to make it more subtle. Also, at the bottom here, we have color. And when you click on the color, you can change the color of the shadow. All right, I'm not going to cover every single style effect here, but I encourage you to try them out. I particularly like the last one here that says background because it allows you to add a shape or a background behind your text. So make sure you try them all and see which ones are your favorites. Before moving on, I'd like to show you the curve effect to curve your text. You'll find it at the bottom of the text effect when you have a text box selected. So simply click on it and it will curve your text. And this might not seem like much, but Canva users had been asking for that very one feature for years. Canva communities, both official and non-official, were flooded by comments of users asking for curved text. And this went on for so long until they finally made it happen. And I am proud to say that I was involved in the launch of that feature at Canva. Indeed, we produced a little video with the team to announce the launch of that feature to all of our users. And this video broke some record on Canva's official Facebook and Instagram account. Yep, that was my moment of fame at Canva. All right, let's come back to Earth and back to our lecture about text here. It is now time we explore this other important button here on top that says animate. When you click on that with the text box selected, do make sure you have a text box selected, you will access some preset text animations Canva has in store for you. Some will be for all users and others for pro users only. You know the drill by now. You can preview each of these animations by hovering over them and apply them to your text by clicking on them. When you do click on them, the name of the animation should show in the button instead of animate. So this is how you animate text. If you want to add different animations to different words on the same page, you'll have to create individual text boxes for each word. Just keep that in mind. We will see a bit later in the course how you can animate other types of elements, but for now, let's focus on text in this lecture. Okay, let's come back to the object panel and try to use the preset text formatting. Canva lets you add a heading, add a subheading, and add some body text. If you are a pro user, you will actually be able to set a style for each of these text formats via your brand kit and then use them as a quick way to create text boxes that carry your desired attributes. On top of the Add Heading button, you should see a title that says Untitled Brand Kit. Or if you have already set a brand kit, this line will say the name of your brand kit and then a button that says Edit. Let's click on Edit and you should see this window popping up. So here we see text styles, and if I try to add a heading style by clicking on that with my free account, I will be invited to upgrade to Canva Pro. I still want to show you how these preset formatting work though, so I'm going to switch over to my Pro account now. Okay, so here we are in my Pro account. I'm going to come back to the Text tab in the Object panel and click on that Edit button again. And now, from this window, I can actually adjust the style of each text item. Simply click on the little pencil icon and you'll be able to change the font, size, and attribute of each line of text. So let's modify this for prompt bold 72. Once done, we can start using these presets in the Canva editor. So let's just close this window and give it a try. See, this heading is now in prompt bold size 72. And you can come back and change these settings at any time. This is great to create presentations, for example, and keep that consistency throughout your document. The last thing I want to show you here on the Text tab is the font combination that Canva created for us. You'll find them when scrolling down a bit. So to use it, it's very simple. Simply click on them to load them in your design. So these are font combinations or font pairs that work well together, or text with interesting effects applied to them. Just have a play with them. Alrighty, I'd like to wrap up this lecture by giving you a pro tip for using fonts. Are you ready? Alright, instead of going to the Text tab and clicking on one of the headings, you can actually create a text box super quickly by using the T key on your keyboard. This shortcut will save you a few seconds every time you use text in Canva, which over the years will probably represent minutes, if not hours of your life. You are welcome.